All right, let's get this party started. Yeah, I tried for about 20 minutes to go live before the scheduled time, but it wouldn't let me. It just fails and fails. It doesn't tell you that you can't go live. It just does. It does the same thing that always makes me do. Like it fails, it gives me an error code, but this time it just went on forever. And so as soon as it hit 6 o'clock, which was the scheduled time, then it went through. So you learn something new every day. And I guess if you want to go live before you said you were going to go live, you're going to have to go and change the time on the project, and then you can go live, right? So anyway, 6 o'clock p.m. California time. Welcome everyone. There's 119, 120 of us here today. We're about an hour earlier than usual because I want to try and hit everyone that for some reason can't do it later. I know you guys back in the East Coast are, it's late over there, so you guys are either going to bed or for some reason can't. But here we go. We're an hour early. So welcome to the live stream. We do this every week around this time, and usually I talk a little bit about some subject. Like in this week's is going to be about how the internet helped me finalize that. It's an emergency PowerPack, solar generator type of battery box for anyone that needs it right now, especially the storm season that you guys are seeing back in the East Coast of the United States, right? So here's the problem with that. Let me just start explaining that, right? I've been making these little battery boxes for a while now, right? 2 years ago, I think I started one with the Hurricane Maria or whatever, and then, we went and did all that stuff. So this time around, I thought, okay, what else do I have to add to that project or to those projects? And I do have some to add, right? So now there's an easier way to make batteries, right? The 18650s are very, very popular among all our groups, all of our little communities and stuff. Except there isn't really an easy way to put them together. I mean, easy is a relative term or whatever, but I've been coming up and designing my PCB system for about a year now, or a little bit over a year, I think. And it's taken me a long time, I know, but there's quite a bit of work to do, and I think we're finally there. These are examples of fully populated boards that are that I'm gonna start offering and stuff. Up until now, I've been selling these as kits. So you buy all the parts and then you have to solder themselves. You have to solder them yourselves. But now, I think moving forward, these are gonna be, they're gonna come ready to go, assemble. All you have to do is pop in your batteries and stuff. And it took a while to find the right person to do it, find the right, components. And even up till right now, I'm still tweaking the design. Today, I made one change, or we had Justin do a change, because some of you that have been getting this type of the high powered one, right? The 2C version, which has the surface mount holders. If you misalign the little holders here because you don't get the right order, right? It should be like the two holder, and then the single holder at the very end over here, opposite from the thing. Then you get this slight misalignments on the pads here, and they'll short out because they have adjacent to those little pads, there's symbols, plus and minus symbols. Those are the markings to let you know how to mount the batteries. But instead of doing paint or silk screen on it, the symbols, we chose to do expose solder, expose whatever the solder layer underneath. And so very easily you can short these out. And so, this is a problem that we hadn't seen yet, even though there are, 20,000 of these things out there already, because these haven't been as popular, right? But now that people are getting into these ones, then they're running into that problem. So today we changed the design. I uploaded it to, my Amazon Drive, and I put a link on my Jehu's DIY Powerwalls group so that you can have that latest design there. I'm going to change the I'm gonna change the other one that's there existing so you get it. And in about 2 weeks, I'll place an order of this today. In about 2 weeks, you'll be able to get these from me. The new version that has they're a little bit harder for you to make a mistake, right? That's the whole aim of doing that. So, anyways, these are what I've been working on, and that's what I have to add to these new little batter boxes, right? It's just an easier way to put them together, and so I'm working on, you know, revamping those designs, and I want to make 3 different sizes: the little one, the medium one, and then the big one, right? And so, you know, as a designer or engineer or whatever, you always try to, you know, maximize, put as much, you know, value into a thing or features into some design or whatever. And that's what I was doing. I was getting trapped in that thing where I was trying to cram too much stuff into this little box of batteries. And I put it out there. I made 2 videos where I'm like, you know, explaining the challenges that go in designing a little box like that. And yeah, you guys kind of nail it in the head, right? Like, or hit the nail in the head, like the saying goes. Yeah, you guys made me see that I was trying to cram too much technology into that one little box. That I needed a bigger one, and that's the truth. I do needed a bigger one, but I don't need a bigger one because the bigger one is coming. It's a different product. This one is there. So yeah, I basically decided to get rid of the AC inverter and just make this little box, you know, most useful as a USB thing, right? So to power your devices, like I guess there are some laptops that you can power off a USB, but mostly, you know, like phones and tablets, and then you can run some power off a USB, like lights and stuff, and charge cameras, that sort of stuff. And then, but you do still have the posts that are 24 volts that you could use an external inverter if you wanted to, right? But it's not going to be included in the box. It's too small, and you know, it's the little one. It's the one that it's easy to build and it's cheap, and so that's the one that it's going to be the small one. So that's the design. The bigger one is going to have the inverter, but it's going to have it inside, and it's going to have a bigger box and a little bit more battery and stuff like that. So that's where we're going with that, right? And you guys, yeah, your input kind of helped me, helped me a lot to see where I was getting trapped in there. And so that's you can expect that video soon. That's the next one that I'm going to deliver. And then another one that I'm going to be working on is like just the do's and don'ts when it comes to building these modules, right? And so those are cool. What are you guys? Oh, look, Jay Kenny is in the house. Justin Kenny is in the house. He's the one that made the changes there to the file. I uploaded that file right away. You guys can go and get it right now if you go to our if you go to my group in there, and eventually I'll update all the other places where I have that file available and stuff. Let's see. The question right after Justin Kenny there, why can't you use the other socket holders, bend the pins, and make them a surface mount? I did that, and they seem to work for me. I wonder which ones you're talking about, Scott Wayner. Are you talking about sort of like these ones here? I did buy some 90. So I have done that. I think this is what you're saying, right? Why don't you just bend these pins so that they don't poke out so much, right? And I did think about that. I just think that I can do that. I don't know. I want to be repeatable, right? I whenever I do something, I want to make sure that everyone that's watching me has the ability to do it, right? So that's usually at the top of the list, right? Like, I gotta think about the person that's gonna build this that is not me, right? And so if I'm having the slightest trouble doing it, someone else is gonna have equal, amount. There are gonna be people out there that might have equal or more trouble, right? And so I want to make it like super easy. If it's super easy for me, then there's a likely chance that it's gonna be easy for you. And so that's why I didn't want to bend them like that. I did order some spades that are 90 already. And then I did, I was sourcing like some kind of spacer here to bump it up so it doesn't go all the way in, just to give me enough clearance. And I think that's what I'm going to do, maybe in the next version, right, of this, of one of those, right? Or maybe I'll do like a variation of it or something where it has all of them built in instead of having that one sticking out or whatever. Because that's also, it might be cheaper too. So yeah, I haven't run the numbers on that one yet, but yeah, I think I get what you're saying there. Let's see here. Yep, feature creep is the bane for all projects. Yes, you want to always try to put as much crap in there, and then it's, you know, and then you kind of, yeah, it's kind of, what is that? What is it? Productive? No, I don't know. It's, what's the saying? When you want to do more and then you end up doing less. Could you make a lock on the batteries in case of shaking, like earthquake? Yeah, I actually have, oh, these guys are fighting, that's why they're making. I actually have sourced out a, the little, you know, the blue shrink wrap that goes around these. So you can mount your cells here and then, you know, use a blue shrink tube thing to shrink wrap them. The U.S. Air Force, they were, you know, the people that are trying to use and designing, you know, boxes using these have asked me for that. So then I had to go and source it and then made it available to them and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's super easy to do it. Maybe for cooling, they're not going to cool as good, but I mean, those are designed for batteries, so I think they'll be fine. We can see up your nose, says. I know. Yes, I don't know how to change that. That's something you have to put up with. All right, no barking, guys. Hello from Markman, Missouri. What do you think about Rich Rebuilt? Hey, Rich Rebuilt. That guy is awesome. He's, you know, he makes you shake your head sometimes. You're just like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? But, you know, I can relate to that. Every single thing that I've ever ventured to do, there's been a ton of naysayers saying like, you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it, it's never gonna work. And, you know, it serves as fuel for me. It serves as fuel. It's like, okay, let me show you. Like, yeah, I mean, I might be dumb and all that stuff that you say, but this is gonna work, you know, and I'm gonna make it work. And, you know, to some degree, or other, you know, I've been able to actually get most of the things that I've been doing work. I mean, I failed quite a bit at a lot of things, and I share a lot of them. I don't share all of them, you know, because you know, this channel would be like 90% failure and 10% success kind of thing. But he totally made that little, if you guys don't know, he decided to use the parts off of a Zero motorcycle or some kind of motorcycle, electric motorcycle, and put it in a hot rod. And everybody's thinking like, oh, that tiny motor is not gonna have enough torque, it's not gonna be good, it's never gonna work, you know, and his craftsmanship is, you know, lacking in many areas. And he proved us all wrong. Boom, he's out running around with his little hot rod doing donuts, you know, electric donuts. So that guy's awesome. That's what it's all about, man. Let's see, thank you. So disregard my questions about the shorts. Oh, there you go. You had a question about shorts, yeah. So you have to align those perfectly, and then in the next version of that board, then it's gonna be a lot harder to actually, make the mistake that we would all been making. I use Pelican cases for my radio Go box, mostly for emergency radio communications, but great case for what you're doing. Yeah, except the Pelicans are a little bit more expensive, I think, than what we're using here. I did get a link from someone that sent me, there's some brand that is making cases that are pretty good quality, and they're like about half the price of what we're even paying for that. I gotta go through that thing and find some good ones, and then, yeah, and if I can find ones that work good, then we'll start using those, or I'll start trying to push those. Again, they gotta be available too, because that's another big issue with me pushing design and stuff. You gotta make sure that people can buy it, right, easily. Let's see. Justin says, thought I used a grandfather version from before they got bought by out of the. Oh, he's talking about someone else, out of this Eagle. Oh yeah, someone's asking him about the thing. Whoa, let's see here. Is the battery mooch in here? Oh yeah, battery mooch is in the house. There you go. Everyone's in the house today because it's early, I guess. Giveaway. I'm in running to win a gaming chair. There you go. Yes, I've been thinking of doing giveaways. In fact, I have decided that from now on, whenever I do a review, because I don't do a lot of reviews, but I've been, there's a lot of people hitting me up for reviews, and I'm like, I don't. They have a lot of like. The problem is that they have a lot of requests, like, oh, this video's got to be this length, you gotta talk this much about the product, you gotta do, and I'm like, listen, you're not paying me money to do a review, because one, I don't want to accept payment really to do a review, because then, it's not a legit review. Right now, it's it's tainted or whatever. But then they got all these requests, this, yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, you get the review that I give you, or you get nothing. Yeah, I don't know. But no, I'm trying to, work it out. I'm trying to be able to work on my negotiating skills and stuff. And so I decided that whenever I do a review from now on, I will have at least one giveaway of the thing that I'm reviewing, because it makes sense, right? Someone needs to get it. If I don't get paid for them, then at the very least, you guys should get something, and I'm gonna try to implement that. Right now, I'm talking with the GM Dell, or that inverter that I'm using in all these big, boxes or whatever. They actually reach out to me, and I'm like, oh yeah. They didn't really like the fact that I want to make a video where I show their product being used in a big, project like that box, right? They wanted to do like a review only. Oh my God, these dogs driving me crazy. ¿Qué pasó? Estoy en vivo. Estoy en vivo ahorita. I'm telling my mom that I'm live, so not to make a lot of noise, because she comes in and plays with the dogs. Let's see. Justin Kent says, I recommend KitKat if you were starting out. I'm trying to learn it and move new projects there. He's talking about the software to design PCBs, right? So, by the way, I don't know how to do the PCB layout. I just I actually have a few more designs, Justin. By the way, I'm gonna hit you up pretty soon. So yeah, if you haven't seen the thing, I kind of just scribble on a napkin, and then I send it to Justin. I go, can this be a real PCB board? Can this be like a real thing? And sure enough, he's talented, and he whipped out a cool PCB. There are some people that are criticizing this PCB or whatever, but I don't know, whatever. They, people criticize whatever, right? When the U.S., if this passes mil-spec, then testing, then yeah, I'm gonna be rubbing it in their faces. And anytime that I see someone, saying that this thing is not good, or the design sucks, and the thing, and I'm like, whatever, it sucks. It doesn't suck for the U.S. Air Force. Let's see here. By the way, what is the best capacity tester? Oh man, I don't know. Anyone knows how to calibrate the Droke bidirectional meter? Don't they? I think the one that has the Hall effect has like little pods on it. I wonder if those are to be used. Have you tried those? I've never calibrated mine. I always just kind of trust it. It's like ballpark for me, right? Like, I don't know. For me, it's like hasn't been that important that has to be perfect or whatever. But I think if you try it, let us know if that works out. Let's see here. Quick question. Is there any way you can export the PCB 1.3 into a simple PDF file? I don't have the software to open the zip file. Oh, I see. I wonder, yeah, would that work? But what, you wouldn't be able to use it. Well, could you? I don't know. I don't know enough of that software and those file formats to know. Maybe Justin would say, do you need it in PDF? Oh, why do you need it in PDF? You can upload it to like Gerber Viewer. Yeah, see, so that's already, the thing is that it's put together, because there's a bunch of layers, right? It's like a multi-layer file, well, design, right? And it's already, like the Gerber file is already put in a format that the PCB manufacturer wants, right, for their software. So you upload it there, and then you're able to see it on the Gerber file viewer thing, and then you could easily just order the thing, and then they get in a format where like they know what to do with it, right? So it's a very peculiar like format. I don't know, it might be super standard, and it might be the most common thing that's out there, but at least for me, it seems, from an outsider's point of view, that's what it looks like. Hey, big fan of your channel, just wish you had more projects content to your channel, like EVV, vlog, no offense, just lately, it's just you talking to the camera. Yeah, my projects are getting big at this point, and, I do what I can, as fast as I can, and yeah, eventually I think I'll probably get back to pumping out more content, but right now I'm in this transitional thing where I'm growing, and I'm trying to expand, and I'm trying to do projects that I want to do, right? For the longest time, I've just been doing these things, whatever I can, right? And all of a sudden, like, oh, that's too big of a project, I leave it for next time. And I'm finding myself that next time, that in the future, it's now for me. And so I'm gearing for some like big projects. And so those are taking long, of course, right? And so I'm going to be talking about concepts and stuff, and then eventually, yeah, projects. Yeah, I mean, we could all be doing better, It's like you could say that to any YouTuber or anybody that's doing anything, right? Like, you could be doing better. You could be doing more. You could be doing those projects better. I kind of get that. There's always room for improvement. Let's see here. The PCB board is great. Do you have any plans? Oh my God, it jumped. Oh, you know what? I forgot to pop out this chat. There you go. Pop out the chat. Why are we here? Says the skull. I don't know why are you here. Why don't you tell us why are you here? Okay, so I can't find other. Let me see. The PCB board is great. Do you have any plans for a 4S PCB board? No, I don't. One, there's already designs out there that people have done. I have one in my kit that's out there. So I don't feel like I have to do it. Also, because I don't really like the 4S version unless it's like lithium iron phosphate, but there's not a ton of lithium iron phosphate in 18650s or even 26650s. There's more 26650s, I think, but it's not a super popular thing, right? Like I'm concentrating on the batteries that we have a ton of them, and 18650s are by far like the top there, right? There's a ton of them everywhere. Let's see. What is a good wire to use from the BMS to the inverter? I don't know. So a thick one. Depends. I mean, depends what kind of loads you're talking about. Look at a chart that tells you the right gauge. I use quite a bit of this welding cable. right? If you like go to like eBay and then search for welding cable, it's usually multi-strand and is higher quality copper, and it's got like silicone covering that's high temperature and it's highly flexible. Usually that's good stuff, and I tend to always gravitate to that. In fact, that's what I have in like my bus. I have a 1/0 welding cable, right? It's orange, because it meets the standards for the, automotive high voltage thing. And yeah, just do some searches on that, and you should be able to find almost any gauge. I mean, they go down to like 6 gauge, 8 gauge, I think. I have some 8 gauge around here. Let's see here. I would be interested to see if there's some sort of combination of 3D printing custom boxes incorporated with your PCB design. Me too! I want to put a challenge out there. Maybe I'll do a video and put a challenge. See if we can come up with a thing. Yeah, it would be cool. Like something like this, for example. This is not a bad... Well, the problem is that 24 volts works on the higher size batteries. But I don't know, like this right here, right? It's 14 cells, 7S, right? So 14, 24 volts. I guess I can find some 24 volts to like USB little things in here that we can kind of incorporate in a case, and then like we could build a case. And that could be like a little, PowerPack, a small PowerPack. But I don't know, is it worth it? Can you just get those things for like next to nothing? Like these guys here, right? This guy sent me, who sent me these? I forgot who sent me these, but these are, these are like almost like a few bucks, right? So you put some 4 cells in there, and then you have 2 USBs over here with a little on-off switch, and it's got all the electronics to charge it, and it's got like, shows you the voltage of each cell over here. Like, this is actually pretty cool. Can I have a cell? Oh yeah, I do have a cell to show you guys what it looks like. So I think that's the reason why, because these are things that are so cheap. They're mass produced. Yeah, here we go. Look at this thing. Look at how fancy that thing is. Does it say? Oh yeah, so yeah, it shows you the voltage on the one battery, and then it shows the empty on the other ones. So power off, turned off. Anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of these, so that's why I haven't really pushed that much, right? I've been concentrating on how to make the bigger boxes and stuff. Battery Addiction is in the house. Look at that. Ruven Salazar is in the house. Let's see. It makes it easier for him to read all caps. That's true. I need to build one of those for a CPAP emergency backup. There you go. You can totally do it. And those machines are not that big, so like a little inverter will be able to power that. And that's 0.5 kWh. So yeah, figure out how much your CPAP machine uses, and then divide that, by the hour, or divide that by 500 by the amount of power that it uses, and then you'll be able to figure out more or less how many hours you'll be able to run that thing. Of course, you have to take into account, inefficiencies on, power loss and all that stuff. For handling a zip file, you can just download WinRAR or Zip. 7-zip? That's true. All right. It jumped again. Please talk about the solar emergency pack. Yes. What do you guys want to talk about? The solar emergency pack. I'm gonna have a separate video, like a build video with instructions and stuff on that one. But today I kind of want to explain to you guys how you guys help me come up with that design and nail it down. Because it's been going around my head. I've been trying a bunch of things. I've been ordering a bunch of these little things, putting them in there. I have built that thing like 4 or 5 times, and I don't like it for some one or another reason, right? And I finally was able to see that I was trying to cram too much stuff in there. I tried the little pots on the hall sensor and it did calibration of the amperage. Oh, I see the amperage. So you're trying to calibrate the voltage? Is that the thing? Justin Kent says, I recommend Fusion 360 for 3D CAD work. Yeah, I heard good things about that. A lot of people use it. In fact, the people at the Air Force are using that to design their things that they're doing. So they're gonna be they're designing this rack mountable stuff, which is pretty cool. Right? Because I mean, those are fairly common everywhere. They have these boxes that are made for traveling, right? The flight cases, and those usually are like, you know, shock-proof and stuff, and they're standard 19-inch racks. So if you can make a battery that fits there, then, you know, you pop them in there, and you have brackets to fit inverters and chargers and all that stuff, right? So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. And eventually, I think I see myself maybe going over there and, you know, kind of just to see what they're doing, or to, you know, I don't know, lay a hand on, you know, help out and what they're doing and stuff. And hopefully I can even go and deploy on one of the deployments of these things, you know. I don't know what the requirements are for someone that's not a serviceman, like a civilian type of person like me, to kind of join one of their missions and stuff. But man, if that is possible, I'm down to do that. Any plans to come to Dominican Republic? Some technicians will be glad to hear about your projects. Not now, but yeah, never say never, right? Startup is if you make less than 100,000 a year. Oh wow. He's talking about what? Fusion 360? You can get it for free if you're making less than 100,000 a year using it or something like that. So that's a pretty cool thing. It's free. Okay, Robert Bramblett says, is Captain Tape enough compression when making packs with SPIM 808 HP cells? I think it is. I think you could totally... Captain Tape is pretty tough. And of course, the main feature of that tape is that it can hold quite a bit, you know, the temperature, right? Like, it doesn't melt. I use quite a bit of that. In fact, I use most of it. Here's one of my packs. Look at that. Right? Yeah, I just, you know, I do all the battery thing, and I use it to sometimes to isolate stuff. And then at the very end, I just want to wrap the whole thing on it, just to keep it compressed and to keep it nice and clean and stuff. And then you can handle it that way. Yeah, Captain Tape is your friend. I think it can run a bit expensive, but I think it's the right thing to do. There's a reason why all the battery makers use it and put it on their things, right? So I'd say use it. Please read my comment up there in Spanish. Sorry, Liquid Sword. Put it up again, because I don't know where it's at. I've been skipping a bunch. After a while, when you guys keep typing, it'll just jump up and, you know. And if I were to go back again, I would be here forever, right? Because I'm going so slow. I guess I should go faster. I try to answer your questions faster. I'm trying my best. Today I'm struggling a little bit more because look at this. I'm like 13 years old. I actually got braces. So I'm not used to talking with these metal in my mouth. So yeah, if I sound funny, it's because I have, you know, metal coming out of my teeth here and stuff. It's been there for a few days, so I'm past the worst part of it. But yeah, you should have seen me. I had all kinds of like wax on them because I didn't want my lips to be all torn up. Because they're sharp. Whose idea is to put sharp pieces of metal on your teeth? And by the way, it's not the first time that I've had braces. I used to have the Invisalign thing, But of course, I'm not disciplined enough to keep them there and to make them work. So this is the second time around, right, that I'm doing braces because my teeth were already straight, and I just, for one or another reason, would not keep those things on as much as I should have. So eventually, my teeth went right back to where they were at, and it's really hard to clean them. You guys know the whole thing, why crooked teeth are not good, right? So I decided to do it again, and those things are going to be there for like the next year, which it's not fun. I'm not looking forward to it, but whatever, it needs to happen, right? I have a thing on Thingiverse that's designed to hold 18650 cells. If it's okay to post here, yeah, post it here. If I see it, I'll allow it or whatever, because I think it won't let you post it or something. I have Island Times usually is here. He's my moderator, and he's able to post stuff. But I don't see him here today. We might be a little bit too early for him. I have let's see. Whoa, a change. Can we buy your solar emergency pack from you? No, you can't, because I don't want to get into making these. I promote DIY, right? Which is, do it yourself, basically, right? So I'll provide you with like stuff. In fact, I was kind of against trying to sell anything. I kind of was like, all right, I'll sell these things again, and the fact that you guys are buying it tells me that, well, I'm helping you guys, right? And I'm not really making money selling these. I'm mostly just employing a couple of people, and kind of all the money that we're making selling these goes to them, so that they can produce. And that's a cool thing for me, because then I have at least a couple people, a staff that I can use to do stuff, right? That's why I was getting emails, or I was getting messages from one of them right now telling me that they found a mistake in one of the listings and stuff, and they're gonna change it. See, so it's good stuff. You want to have a few people help you, right? You can't do it all alone. I was trying to do it all alone for a long time, and I was just failing miserably in a lot of things. And so moving forward, hopefully I'm gonna do better, a little bit better and stuff, because I have a couple of people helping me. I'm trying to figure out how many amp hours this battery pack I'm trying to buy is. It consists of 300 18650 9800 milliamp hour connected together for a 12-volt system. All right, anyone who wants to jump in there and let Luis know that well, okay, so if no one's done it, let's see. I don't see anybody. Okay, Luis, there is no such thing as 9800 milliamp hour cells, right? So most likely they're misrepresented, so who knows what they are. They're probably like 300 400 milliamp hours, or maybe 2000, I don't know, who knows. The thing is, you don't know, because they're misrepresented already, right? So it's impossible to know what capacity that thing is, right? So I would suggest not buy that, because you can't really trust someone that is misrepresenting a product, right? And so, yeah, I'd say that's the reason we go through such big, a lot of trouble to find good sources of cells, right? And if you want something that's already proven and tested, go to my kit.com. It's kit.com. It's kit.com/Jehu. And in there, hopefully that's a good thing. And there you can have I have a whole list of like battery sources, right? Or something like that. And these are all the sources that I've vetted, right? That I've like either ordered some batteries, or I know the people. Like one of the main ones there's going to be Battery Hookup, and he sells all kinds of batteries. He sells mostly recycled, reclaimed cells, because there are a ton of cells in the United States that, oh my God, this guy's, hey, no barking. You know the rules, come on. Yeah, so don't buy from people that try to sell you batteries that say they're 9800 milliamp hours. You're old school and have not had anything new to say for the last year. What a waste. Yeah, I do quite repeat myself. I do keep getting the same questions over and over. Um, so, yeah, sorry to disappoint you there, Joaquin. But, you know, I definitely hear from a lot of people that I'm helping them out. And so, you know, I can't please everyone. Today's not your day, unfortunately. Um, Battery addiction says, can we call those battery pack systems solar generator because it works the same on output as a generator? Yeah, so I think it serves the same. It seems to serve purpose, or the same. It does the same job as the generator. Yeah, I don't know why the problem with some people have about the generators, right? So. All military comm equipment and things are rack capable, says Pulsejet. They have boxes set up to the same rack standards for mobile use. There you go. Yeah, so that's why they're designing them that way. That's pretty cool. Yes, Fusion 360 is free. You can make under 100,000. Need to re-register every year, but no other limitations. Oh, that's pretty cool. I was military communications battery addiction. Really? That's cool. Oh, look at that. You're from the Big Island. I want to go to the Big Island. We want to do a system. I want to do something over there. We're going to do a build next year. We're going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be in the Big Island because, I don't know. The Big Island's, you know, arguably not the coolest of the islands. But, yeah, but we're going to do something in Hawaii next year. So, if you guys, yeah, start saving your money so you can go. so you can do a build with me out there. Because I want to do it. And, you know, that's how crazy ideas start. Start in your head, and eventually, bam, all of a sudden you're there, and you're doing the thing. Hi, I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm trying to learn how to build those power packs. We are not the same since Maria. I love to build them for me and my family. Yeah, we're going to help you. Stay tuned for the next couple of videos. You can watch some of the older ones. They kind of give you all the principles, and, you know, you can see how I was putting battery packs together back then. Then, you know, these next ones that are going to come out this week and the next one, they're going to show you the new way that I'm trying to build these power packs. Let's see. Cody says, what do you think of lithium car batteries? What do you think of lithium car batteries? Good idea. Seems like a risk not worth taking, but they are getting popular. I wonder which ones you're talking about. Are you talking about like Tesla battery modules and stuff? Yeah, I mean, those are the way to go. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of good stuff coming in there, and they're becoming more and more popular, which means that the prices are going to keep going down. I see myself starting to build a lot of stuff. I have a couple of them here, and I'm going to order Model 3 soon because I want to experiment with that and see if I can fit it in a car, and then after that, you know, how to chop it off so that it becomes more manageable so you can use it in different other things. But yeah, no, that's what we're going to all be using. There's going to be so much of electric car batteries that yeah, we have to figure out what to do with them. Captain Tape is just short of Kevlar, and the makeup works quite good as an insulator on heat sinks to transfer heat most well. Oh, there you go. There we go. People are telling them go to Kauai. I've been to that island. It's pretty cool. You guys have the Napali coast. That's pretty awesome. I do want to go there again. And I've been to the Big Island too. I've been to, I guess at this point, all islands except for the little ones. Except for whatever, the little ones, the two little ones in between the ones, right? Can't remember their names right now. Lots of PV there. Yeah, there's a lot of solar in the islands. Let's see. Mooch
You are the reason why I vape for 6 years without any explosions. Thank you, says Cody. Yeah, so now the vape community is up against more challenges, right? Like first it was the exploding batteries that you guys were being villainized for. Now it's the thing with the lungs, right? I don't know. I think it's all blown out of proportion. I think there's some foul play there, if you ask me. But yeah, I'm like whatever. I don't know. G. Michael Jr. says, I'm looking to place a few 8 to 10 foot lampposts on a property that doesn't have grid access. Any design ideas for a solar powered LED light system that lights up from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.? That sounds like a fun project. Yeah, make sure you go LED, right? Because then that will allow you to have the smallest battery pack and the smallest solar panel. Yeah, I mean, I do want to design one of those systems to power this little camera. And again, I have so many projects that I have that are just kind of, you know, they're just kind of stuck there in the design stage. But yeah, I wanted to build this because I don't want to run a bunch of cables, you know. And I've talked to a couple people that are kind of trying to do the same thing. But it would be the same basic principle, you know. You figure out your good light, right? Your light source, and you have to measure how much it consumes, you know, per hour, and then you multiply that by the amount of time you want to have it on, and that gives you the battery size, and then you have to kind of, you know, figure out how much sun you get at that place wherever you're gonna want to put them, and then yeah, you figure out how big the solar panel is gonna be, and then all the little components in between. It's just, you know, you have to meet requirements, you know, the voltage and the rate at which you want to charge the batteries and the thing, you know. It's like, yeah, it's a cool little thing, you know. It's simple, but it includes all the principles that you need to do when you're designing much bigger systems. It's the same concepts and the same principles. So if you can handle that project, then you can move on to bigger projects. Yeah, you go. I thought the storming. He's asking if I'm gonna storm Area 51. I thought that already happened. I thought that was the 20th or the 22nd, or that's the 20th. I thought, yeah, that was a couple of days ago. I've seen the stories coming out. I haven't really clicked on the headlines to see what happened or not, but yeah. Question about the BMS board. How many cells or 7 cell boards will the 3 BMS modules on your board handle? So don't think about it. So I've also been thinking about how to phrase that up so that you guys understand it. Don't think about how much battery that board will handle. Think about how much load it would handle. It is good for 50 amp continuous load, right? So it doesn't matter. You might have, you do have a minimum amount of battery that you want to use, right, for that load, which is, you know, each board is good for about 4 amps. I have a 5 amp fuse in there just to minimize the resistance so it doesn't waste a lot of heat in those little fuses. But 1C, right? That's 1C is the rating of those boards, right? Unless you go with these, which are 2C. So about 4 amps, right? And so you wanna, you know, divide 50 by 4. Let me take my calculator here because I don't know what I'm doing with the numbers. Right, so 50 amps, you divide those by 4, then it's 12 or 13 boards, right? That's the minimum that you need of battery boards to be able to maximize, to use that BMS to the max. But don't think about it that way. You know, that's the secondary. First, you got to think about your load. If you have a 1200 watt inverter at 24 volts, that's about 50 amps, right? So that's the maximum, you know, that you need at least one board. Let's say that you wanted to get 2400 watts. Then you will need 2 boards, right? To be able to use that. And then you'd have to use at least a minimum of 12 and a half or 13 boards per BMS, right? So you'll need, 25, 30, 26 boards, battery boards, or battery modules to power those loads, at maximum or whatever. So yeah, first go load, then go, the battery size. But that's, hopefully I'm gonna explain that in the video, right? And so that you'll be able to use it back. This is all forming as I talk to you guys, right? For me, it kind of comes second nature to like just do the math in my head, quickly and stuff, and figure out how much I can push the thing or whatever. But oh yeah, and actually someone's actually building an app, kind of a calculator, right, to help you do that, right? So you have different fields that you can put in there, like what's the size of your load, or how much battery you need to have, or how many hours, and it'll calculate some of the other fields or whatever. I think a lot of you guys will find that useful and stuff, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of early in stages right now, so we don't know. I actually just had a conversation with them today on the phone. Let's see. Normal car batteries that are lithium, says Cody. I don't know. I haven't really seen normal car batteries that are lithium. So you're saying 12-volt batteries that are lithium. I don't know much about them, right? If anything, I think they're just lithium iron phosphate 4S with a little BMS in there. I think that's what it is. But I haven't really seen them. I've seen people that have replacement 12-volt batteries that are made like that, but I don't think. I think they're mostly marketed as, not for like regular car use batteries, but for storage, to running, auxiliary equipment and stuff for either, RVs and sort of stuff like that. I think that's the thing. I might be wrong. Yeah, if you have an example, more clear example of that, yeah, let's send it to me so I can know where we are with those batteries. Martin Bogami says 50, okay, 50, yeah, 1200, yeah, so there we go. Oh, what? Wait a minute, no, what is that? 1500 lumens? You're talking about something else. How big is your lamppost? Oh, I see. They're asking them about the lamppost. Oh, let's see. Martin shared a link there. Oh, wow. You guys are talking all about the thing. I kind of missed that whole conversation. Says Adam Mouser, what do you think about selling them for camping or as pass-through systems for refrigerators or freezers for power outages? Then profits could be used to make extra for disaster situations. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those batteries can be used for anything, right? Yeah, the UPS thing is a thing that, yeah, it's kind of attractive because there's so many UPSs out there that need a new home. They're discarded after their original battery dies. For some reason, they lose value. I think that's changing also. I think I've seen quite a bit of like replacement batteries for UPSs, but I think traditionally it's been the case that people just throw them out and they get a new one. They don't change batteries. And as a result of that, there's like warehouses full of them, right? For these recycling centers. And I'm like, well, we got to use them. Like, we can't just throw them away. They're like perfectly good working, inverters. Yeah, they're kind of wimpy. They don't put out a lot of power or whatever, but in a scenario where they're designed to run a few minutes, right? But if you get an oversized one, you can run it continuously. And people have done it. People have done like small, simple modifications where they add thicker cables, they add more airflow, they do all this other stuff to kind of run them continuous and stuff. And yeah, you could do it. I'm not sure if I want to be heading that thing. I mean, to some extent I will, I guess. But I don't know. Oh, I sent you an email regarding your interest in Hawaii. Oh, okay. I'll make sure and read it. Cause I haven't seen it. So about 10 boards per BMS module. Yeah, a minimum of that. Yeah, but you can keep going up, right? If your load is like 1,000 watts, right, and you want to run it for a week, right? You can have 100 boards, connected in parallel to the one BMS board, right? Because you don't need more than that, right? It's like your load is what's going to determine how much of switching you need, right? Yeah, you can put a bunch of these boards, right? So that they just, they're using them. But let's say that your load is really big for a few minutes, right? But most of the time it's kind of small. Then you have to have enough of these BMSs boards to support the peak demand, the peak load, right? So it's really based on the load first. The battery comes second. The battery size comes second. Let's see. Have any boards made their way to Puerto Rico? Have any of the boards made their way to Puerto Rico? Pretty sure they have. Puerto Rico, it's a big market, and people are buying a lot of batteries and stuff. I can't think off the top of my head any person that has used them in Puerto Rico, but yeah, I'd almost be willing to put money down that there are out there. There's systems based on my boards. Do you have the diagram for the 24-volt generator better than the... Not right now. Like, it's outdated, so I have to change the things, and that's what I'm gonna do in the next one. I know I've been saying that forever. Sorry, but I want to do it right. Yeah, I know I've been saying I'm gonna share that one with you guys, but I had a lot of mistakes. That project had quite a bit of mistakes, so I want to get it right. The BMS boards won't let you draw more than what they're spec for, so about 40 to 50 amps per board. Yeah, so you'll start burning up fuses, right? If you start pushing them past their thing. And I know it's kind of annoying, right, for like people that are kind of at first they're starting out and they're building these things. I get emails where like, hey, your boards are defective. All these little fuses are blown, right? I'm like, well, not really. I mean, you kind of are making a mistake. You're either pushing them too hard, you're putting cells that are not the same voltage, you're putting cells backwards. There's a whole list of things that you're doing to get that happen. And as annoying as it is, it's what's gonna keep you from, having one of these blow up. I mean, I did have one person have one that was extremely hot, and I could never really pinpoint what the problem was. He sent me boards back. I was like looking at them and try to figure out. I loaded them up with cells, and I couldn't recreate the problem. All I can think is that he put a cell backwards, and he built a whole module really quickly, and then he let it sit there, and it wasn't enough to blow some fuses, which is kind of weird because I think it should have, but it was enough to get that battery to heat up a lot. And so yeah, I kind of that was kind of a mystery one, but I haven't seen it again. So yeah, as far as that's going pretty good, where like it's keeping people safe. If they're doing major mistakes, then they're just they're blowing fuses and stuff. The FBI would lock down my apartment, says. I ain't sending 3 kilowatt hours of lithium batteries through the mail. Yeah, no, that could be dangerous. Send them through ground, UPS ground. When making a power box, and I have 18 series to allow the batteries with mixed capacity. Is that usable? Yeah, you could totally use them, depending on how you wire them. See, so one of the benefits of my boards is that this is a battery on its own. This is a 24-volt battery, 7S, right? So when you add another board in here, then you're paralleling. So when you parallel different packs, you could have different capacities on a pack. You can totally parallel, like, a 10 amp 7S battery pack with like a 1 amp hour, 10 amp hour to a 1 amp hour 7S battery pack, right? They both will push their power, and once they're done, then they'll just be there for the ride or whatever. And that's what one of the things that you do with these, right? So you gotta make sure that you have like cells, right, that are similar, or match, closely on capacity and internal resistance and the ability to push power, and then they can be completely different than the next board that you assemble together. So it just depends how you assemble the back, but yeah, you could do it. Let's see. Cody says, I'm a journeyman electrician. Last week I was told to replace 3 kiloamp UPS. I now have 50 plus of them in my shop. They weigh a ton. Much I don't know what to do with them. So yeah, so that's about 2,500 watts, right? I don't know, about 2,000 watt continuous probably of a UPS. And they're heavy because those are tough. They're like made with heavy transformers probably. Yeah, put them on eBay. People will use them. Make one, build one. Here's I'm gonna give you here's a recipe for success. So you get a battery, you figure out what type of battery works, and then you build it. And then you document the whole thing, and then you share that info with the product that you're trying to sell, and then all of a sudden that product that is trash to someone else becomes available, or becomes valuable to someone else, because you're giving them the how to, right? If you figure it out for them, and then you're sharing the information and think, all of a sudden you can sell it. So just do one, figure it out, work out all the kinks, then put them on eBay. People will buy them. People will, and then the thing is that you'll be doing good. Like, you'll be saving something from the trash, and then you'll be using, offering something to someone that for a fraction of the cost if they wanted to buy a new thing, and then by making them build it yourself, then you're also sharing information and then making them help. So people are learning something new, which is something very valuable. Yeah, it's a win-win on all sides, right? And so at least that's my motto, and that's my recipe right there. I'm sharing it. Use it. Don't abuse it. Will you be doing a video on how to rig a UPS to run independently? I have a couple of UPS projects. I did one that is running there, and I never really did a proper video on it. Yeah, I probably foresee in the future doing it. I just don't know when that's gonna happen, but I foresee one, right? I have a couple little ones, and they weren't that compelling. They were too small. There were problems with them. They weren't like, I have to get excited about a project, right? And sometimes they're like, well, this is good, but it doesn't, and, That's why I haven't done one yet. I mean, other than the one that we sent to Puerto Rico. Like, I did that video because that one was super simple, and there was a ton of them. By the way, I think we cleared out that whole warehouse. There was a warehouse full of, like, just pallets and pallets of them. And we eventually, I think we cleared it, most of it. And it went out to people that are using it. I bet you those are still being used in Puerto Rico right now. People are still, using them with their solar panels and stuff, It would be interesting to see, like, a year later, 2 years later, and see who has it, where did one of those systems end up, and if it's still being used. UPS inverters are horrendously inefficient, and the cheaper ones are square wave. Yeah, that is true. But when you're getting them almost for free, and I think it's worth it to use them. Again, because you're using a thing that it's not going to end up in the trash, because it still has some usefulness, right? And so that's a good thing. So I think that's what we were doing. We were buying those things for like, it was like a 900 watt UPS for $30. That's how much we were buying. And then we were buying like an extra $30 or something like that worth of batteries, and then we're putting them in there, and then with a little like solar charge controller and a couple of solar panels, and it was working. What type of SMD 5 amp fuse do you use in the Powerwall module? Oh man, I can't think off the top of my mind. And do you blow the fuses often enough to use a holder to quick change them? So, oh yeah, you know what? I gotta look into that. So, I think when you're building it, and if you're a first timer, you don't understand some of the concepts, you will find yourself blowing a lot of them. I think in normal use, I don't think that's gonna happen. I do have one person right now in the group that has like a battery with like, I don't know, like 30 modules, I think. And they're split in half because he's running a 48 volt system, and one of them keeps blowing fuses. He blew the two that are on the BMS, these big ones that are 35 amps each. So, I mean, at least 70 amps. And then he kept blowing these other fuses, right? But I think that's out of the norm. I think he's got some kind of inrush current or something that spikes up so bad. Although I don't understand why only one side is doing it and not the other side. I want to say typically no. They're not. You don't have to change those often. Once your battery's set and then you have your loads connected, they kick on and off. If you design the system correctly, you shouldn't be having to change those fuses all the time. But I could look into. The reason I didn't push this on the first version is because I think it's really hard to solder those holders. I think you need specialized equipment. I could figure out how to do it. I couldn't. I was melting them, and I'm like, if I can't figure out how to do it, there's a lot of people that are not experienced soldering stuff. So that's the reason why I wasn't excited to use them, and I wasn't pushing them, I wasn't selling them, I wasn't including them in the kit. I was just, promoting people just solder straight into the board, right? Now, the ones that are already assembled, they come like that, but I hadn't thought about that, and I will ask my contacts, how hard would it be to put a holder in here, right? Because if they're using the right machinery to do it, bam! I mean, China, they're experts are soldering stuff because they solder all our boards, every single piece of equipment, electronic equipment, they do it. I don't know. You'll have to look in the kit.com. I have links to the actual ones that I order. They're down there in the bottom. Just scroll all the way down and stuff, and you'll be able to find them. Let's see. New to the DIY solar and battery bank world, what suggestions, recommendations would you have for devices to monitor and chart whole home energy usage? Oh, I use one that is called Sense. Sense.com. Let's see here. Let me show you. I made a video about it. If you look. Oh, I actually get started. I actually reset it today because it wasn't working right. So I was gonna show you guys it was working, but I basically on your phone you can tell anytime what's happening with your thing, except for right now because I completely today was like, oh, it's not working correctly. Let me reset it, and I basically undid all the data in there, and so basically just erased my whole account and was restarting it. But Sense.com. There's another one that's out there that I haven't tried, but it almost seems like it works the exact same way. I can't set it here because I have to be closer to the unit or whatever. It uses Bluetooth to set it up. So let's see here. Battery hookup. Let's see. Mike. Another question here. Another question. Yes, they are. They're hard to solder, those things. I think you guys are talking about the thing. So Clockwork Gremlin says only had one cell outright fail out of 54. There are a few carriers or cherries in the rest, no heaters in the set at all, and most of them are decent. Oh, I wonder which ones you were talking about. I want to look down. Alberto Fitch says, hey Jagers, I didn't receive the battery I want on the giveaway. Oh, Alberto, yes, I've been waiting for your email. I don't know where to send it, Alberto. You have to send me an email and send me your address, because how am I supposed to send it to you? So jhu@jack35 or any of the other emails that I have listed in any of my YouTube channel or anywhere else, send me an email with your address and then I'll send it to you. I was like, how do I have so bad luck trying to give this battery away? I've been giving it away twice and people don't contact me with their address so I can send it. But good, I'm glad you're here to then so that we can connect and you can send me your address. Let's see. Yeah, oh, come on, another question. Who has got another question that I can answer? Oh, Clockwork Gremlin was talking about the 27 cell Panasonic medical packs on battery hookup. Oh, yeah. Those are a good deal, right? Because aren't there like 60 cents a cell or something like that? And they're Panasonics? You're saying you only had one bad one out of the 54 that you bought? That's a good, I don't know. Is that, yeah, I guess that's a good ratio there. Brooklyn Pink says, what software do you use for your live streams? Just started doing Pantries. Try on Hall's Live. I had some trouble with the sound and the video quality. I'm using OBS. Yeah, is that what it's called? OBS? Yeah, OBS Studio. It's okay. It's alright. It uses a ton of power on your computer. My computer's struggling. I have top of the line computer like Mac. But I guess that they have crappy GPS cards, so yeah, the graphics cards suck on these guys. So I mean, this is top of the line, and it struggles, but it doesn't struggle as much as the last one that I had. So this one's a little bit better. It's passable. I can get by, I guess. You know, I can open up another like browser page in here, and it won't completely crash like the other one did. I'm using about 700 kilowatt hours daily. What? Wait, what? 700 kilowatt hours daily. What setup that is on your website should I use? How many lithium batteries? What solar panels do you recommend? I have plenty of sunshine. Oh my God, you have a serious addiction to power, sir. Let's see, 700 kilowatt hours a day. What is that a month? Let's do the math here. 700 times 30. Woo! You're about 21 megawatts. What are you doing, sir? Okay, let's see. How much solar would you need? Divided into 5.5. No, really? Yeah. Divided into 5.5. Oh my God! You need a lot of solar panels. You need like 130 kilowatt worth of panels. That's a lot of panels. Just to, I mean, that's if you wanted to run completely off of your solar, right? If you wanted to get all the energy that you use in a day, well, it's a little bit more complex because you might have all that energy usage in a few hours. Well, no, actually, no, that wouldn't make it better because then basically, so you need basically 100 and I would say with a little bit of headroom there, about 150 kilowatt hour battery, right? What? Ron got the car for $1,800. Woo! That's so cool. Oh, hopefully the guy ships it. So, anyways, my friend Ron from New York bid on this one car that's already, it's a conversion, and it's got like $10,000 worth of parts in there, as they often do. And this guy, I guess, is, he's used it up and he's tired of it and he just wants to sell it, and he put it up on eBay. And most people don't know. Then most people don't want to get into someone else's converted car. And so as a result of that, he bought a car with about $10,000 worth of parts for $1,800. He just won it, and he's gonna go pick it up. He saw it today. Good luck, congratulations. I wish I could find a deal like that here in California, so I can bid on it and buy it. But they're always actually going up, the deals like that. But anyways, back to the 700. Yeah. So you would need about 150 kilowatt hour battery pack, and you would need no. You don't. You need more than that. You need about 700 watt hour battery pack, but you would need about 150 kilowatt solar array. So that's quite a bit. I mean, if you were to get, what are the big panels? They're like 300, right? So you divide that by 300 watts. Oh man, 150. What is that? 1,000? And then you divide that by 300. Oh no, really? Yeah. 500. Well, yeah, you need a giant system, like 500 solar panels, and yeah, I'd say with headroom, you need a megawatt hour battery pack. That's of course if you wanted to use 100% just solar and then like off grid, right? If you just wanted like to save some money or whatever, then your system could be any size, right? You could have one panel, and that's gonna have whatever that panel produces. It'll in a grid tied inverter, and then that deducts it from your total usage. But if you wanted to go completely off grid or all solar or whatever, that's about the size of system you would need. What are you running there? Are you like running some kind of like warehouse or yeah, that's a factory? What? I mean, that's a lot of power. The 27 cell packs are a killer deal. By the way, if you guys don't know about that deal, go get them. Do I have a link to that? I did somewhere. Oh my god, I don't know. I'm terrible to find the links. Anyways, yeah, go to kit.com/Jehu, and then battery sources. Then you guys can find the batteries there to Tom battery hookups. That's that's the best place to get cheap batteries, or affordable batteries, not cheap, affordable. There we go. Do you know the Amtra of your Samba from a dead start? Yeah, my Samba's capable is 700 amps. Well, actually 600, but I have a special code on the thing. It's it's hacked, so it'll do 700. But it rarely ever sees that. I don't know what reason. The way they have that, written up to ramp up, it never sees that. It sees like, yeah, maybe like 500 amps, I think. Yeah, that's what it sees on hard acceleration. I don't know if that's because of battery sag. I don't know. But yeah, about 500. I think that's the maximum that you will see on hard acceleration. And by the time, you're up to speed, and then it starts tapering down kind of thing, But yeah, mine is, it doesn't have that. instant power. It can't like spin tires unless you're like on first gear or second gear or something like that. But yeah. Donald Montgomery says, I'm doing a peak shaver like yours. Is there a way to limit cheap grid tie inverters? It's like, it's 230 volt, 1000 watts, and I would like to run around 500 watts. So the only way and the easiest way that I found to limit those is to run lower voltage, right? So on the DC side, those cheaper ones, those ones that are here, yeah, I'll show you. These guys here run from 20 volts to 45 volts DC. But if you give them 24 volts or 29, right, which is the 7S, all the way down to whatever, 21 or whatever, then these will run, I think, at a maximum of like 600 watts. So that's a good way to limit these, right? I found it. You just limit the voltage going in by having a 24, 7S battery pack, and then they'll run there. And then as far as like limiting so that you don't, throw more energy back into the grid than you're using, then I'm using a group of these clamps switches, right? And so these are all settable. Actually, this one's not, but this one is. These are settable, so you set the amount of amps that it sees, and then it'll trigger on and off. So you can set those to turn on, for example, after like if it sees 20 amps, then it's about 1,000 watts, right? 20 amps? Yeah, I think so. No, that's 2,000 watts. So 10 amps. So if you set like 10 amps and then you put another one in there in line, and then this one's set to 20 amps, then you have a couple of those. Then when it sees 10 amps, one of them will turn on. When it sees 20 amps, both of them will turn on. And then that way you can, you can make sure that you're never feeding back. That's an easy way to do it on those. Of course, you could always get the limiting ones that I did a video last week of using one of those, doing some tests. I will have another one video, showing it in actual use or whatever. Those will just actually measure how much power is going through a clamp like this, and it'll just try to match it or bring it down to zero, right? And so those are much better because I think they basically have more, what's the word? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank here. Resolution. They have much more resolution. You don't have to wait till you have either 1,000 watts, passed or, so those are much better, I think. Message automatically help for hidden. Okay, Island Times is in the house. Island Times, where are you? I saw that you're doing stuff here. Welcome. Mike Massey says someone bought 200 of those packs. I'm waiting for my order of 26 packs. James Howard says okay, so they're talking about that. Maxwell Smart retracted a bunch of messages. Do you know the amp drop? Oh, actually, I already read that one. Okay. How am I going back? I was reading the wrong numbers on my electric bill. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. So you don't need 700 kilowatt hours a day? Okay. Okay. Oh, all right. So it's only 1,100 to 1,200 kilowatt hours monthly. Oh, okay. Now we're talking about. Yeah, you're not taking everyone's energy and using it. Yes, let's say 1,200 a month. You divide that by 30. So yeah, you're looking at about 40 kilowatt hours a day. Divide that by 5.5, then about 7. You would need about 7.2. That's still quite a sizable system, solar system, right? So 7.27, right? So let's say let's say 8,000 watts, and you divide that by 300. So yeah, you still need about 27 panels. So it's quite a large system, right? Again, that's if you wanted to go 100%. And about, 50 kilowatt hours worth of battery. That would be about, if you were to take some of these Tesla modules, for example, those are 5 kilowatt hours. So, what do we say? 50? Yeah, so that's 10 of those, right? Yeah, 10 of those. Oh, you should be able to do it. It's quite sizable system, but not 700. Yeah, so 50. There you go. You guys figure it out quicker than me. There's always a quicker, straighter math, to show the thing to get to where you're going. I usually go the long way. Is there a simple guide to build a 1 kilowatt portable power pack to run garden tools? I have a couple of them, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have a couple of them coming up too. So there's Island Times. Welcome to the show, Island Times. We went a little bit earlier today, just to throw a curveball on you guys out there, see who could join us and stuff. He could use 10 kilowatt array easy. Yep. Where I live, you average 8 hours. Only a few of those are peak, but the off peaks are longer, so it averages out. So the average is 8. Yeah, you must be. Wait, so what? Are you like closer to the equator? Maybe you're closer to the equator, because I thought around the U.S. it was about 5.5, and that's average throughout the year. So even in summer you get a lot of hours. Winter you get less, so then it averages out about 5.5 throughout the year. That's what I had read somewhere. I don't remember that. My 11.7 kilowatt array makes 17 megawatts hours a year in Southwest Florida. Oh, there you go. Of ramp up and down. I was about to say that there is difference between sun hours and hours. Jay, do you have any ideas for Powerwall using the pouch cells, using the better than solar? So I don't have a project built into that, but I just found out that Tom has like 88 pallets of those cells, and he's got like 3 or 4 of them monthly or weekly, I don't know, some crazy amount of those batteries that are coming in. So I am gonna make one, because I'm like, why are we not building a lot of things with these things? Like, I know they were like hard to put together into packs. It takes a long time. I mean, you guys saw that video where I'm putting these together, but he's getting the actual things that they're using to put these together, or they're coming off or whatever. But I think that doesn't start till next year or something. Either way, I'm like, this is a 7S pack right here. We need to be pushing a lot of these, because they're cheap. If you really look at them, these are half the price of the headways, and they kind of are the same batteries. They push out about the same amount of power. Like, they think maybe they won't last as long. I don't know if these are rated for the same, thousands of cycles, right? Which I don't think the headweights are rated at that high up, anyways. But they're about half the price of the headweights, right? And so, yeah, I will have projects coming up with these guys as Powerwalls, or large, battery Powerwalls, because there's so many of them. Like, again, my my thing is, my mission is here to find home for these, reclaimed batteries. And there's so many of them. There's a ton of them. And so the proper thing to do is to find a use for them that, they can save you money and then we can save them from going to the trash, or to going to China, or going to, being recycled in some other way or whatever. So yeah, I don't have one yet, but as of now, I'm like, that is in the things to do. I will make some of those. My parents have a solar system in their house. My father made it before he died and harvests 15 to 20 kilowatt hours a day. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a sizable system right there. XC60 plugs on my Ryobi 18 volt system and wind. I live in Colorado Springs. We get 300 days of sun per year. Damn, that's pretty good. My parents recently put a solar setup and they average 8 hours worth of power every day. That's pretty cool. But that's in the summer, right? What do they do in the winter? South Florida, the sun always shines. Same in California. There's a lot of sun. Thank you for your simple to understand videos, Florida. Sun is great, by the way. I'll be building a solar tracker for my panels as well. I hope it increases efficiency as it's supposed to. Yeah, let us know. Post it on our Facebook group so that you could we can all be inspired by your efforts in your group and your project. I think Great Scott's video estimated a tracker can increase your panel intake by an additional 50 to 100%. Woo! Yeah, that is yeah, you know what? I have 2 sets of panels up in my roof, and I have the roll-up ones, right? That they're not as efficient, but tell you what, they are making power even when the sun's not out, or even if the sun is barely coming out, they're making power. And then when the sun is like right on top of them, they're making the most power. But of course, the difference between that and when their sun has a high degree of angle, it's not much, like in the other panels, right? But I think overall, throughout the day, they average more than my monocrystalline panels, right? Of course, my setup, they're facing the wrong way, so they never get the optimum, like, if I think if my monocrystalline were facing south, I don't know how many degrees, 10 degrees or whatever they do, I don't know, here in California, then maybe they would average more than my my little wimpy flexible solar panels. But where they are right now, my flexible solar panels are producing more than my monocrystalline, right? So there's pros and cons. I think depending on where you can put the panels, some will work better than others and stuff. Yeah, and I think if you do a sun tracker, you probably can increase your efficiency by quite a bit, because basically the entire day, then you're at an optimum angle, right? That's cool. $450. Yeah, so $450 is actually, I think it's in sale right now, and I think it's supposed to end today. So if you're thinking about getting some of those pouch cells, they're $450 each of these cells, and they're 8 amp hours, and they can push about 200 amps. It's the way to go. Go get some right now. They're super cheap. Let's see here. Hey there, does anybody know the voltage of the 24 volt Tesla battery pack at 80% depth of discharge? Oh. No. I mean, I could figure it out, but not on the top of my head. I might actually have the graph somewhere. I think I have the graph somewhere. I have to dig it up. I already did I did extensive testing on those. I wanted to see what was the actual capacity of them. Hey Jehu, I had some hard time trying to contact you on your live to herd the battery. Thanks for the giveaway. I'm impatient to receive it and play around with it. Oh yeah. Send me an email. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get it in here. Are you saying you try to contact me in other live streams? Maybe. Since I don't really know the things. Send me an email, jehujack35.com. I live in Monterrey, NL, Mexico. Uh, and we have plenty of sunshine. I don't have mountains to take away from the sunshine, so I get the sun full effect. So he said 27 panels, so I'm thinking of grid connections. There you go. I've heard of someone that you can replace the acid off a LiPo 4 cell. The acid? What's the acid? But I can't find more info about it. I don't, Jesse, I don't know what you're talking about there. Please explain more. Are old panels still useful? Yes, they are. I mean, don't pay top dollar for them. But if you're getting them for, like, you know, very cheap, yeah, throw them up there. They'll keep making power. Even after their 30-year life, they're still producing. It's just, you know, a lot of times, you know, yeah, a lot of times they just replace them because they want to make more money. They're not saving enough or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of examples of panels that are making power way past their rated time of, you know, lifetime, right? So, and then again, there are some other ones that fail very quickly. I have a friend that have some shingles solar panels, and they installed them 2 years ago, and they're rated like 25-year panels or something, and 2.5 years in, one of them is either open circuit or something because the entire like string is not producing enough. And so he wanted me to go out there and kind of check it out and see, because he can't get the installer out there. He's been waiting for 6 months or something. I'm like, what? You haven't been making electricity for 6 months? You know, like, and it's just crazy because it's an expensive install. I mean, he paid like $22,000, $25,000. I think he told me. That was quite ago that he told me. Like, I don't know, like over a year ago. So I don't remember, but I think it was somewhere around past the 20,000 mark for the system. And for the past 6 months, he hasn't been using it. It's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, there are some good panels and there's some bad panels, obviously. There you go. You just send me an email to my email. We'll send that out pretty soon, and then you can show us how you're gonna use it and all that stuff. Current solar panels about 20 years. They pay themselves off in 3 to 10 years, depending on your local electricity prices. Yeah. Great Scott got an extra 15% using a solar tracker, which isn't as much as I thought, but it's still good. Oh, there we go. Okay, 15%. Hi, Jehu. I'm from Puerto Rico. Es el mejor. Thank you for that. That's what I thought, because I find old panels for really cheap prices, and it's still got to be better than a coal station. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's quite a bit of expense to like install them also, right? So you gotta take everything in consideration. But, you know, definitely if you have some panels that are, you know, very, very discounted prices, yeah, you can put them out there. You can put them out there yourself and save money and all that stuff. And if you want to make a, you know, an off-grid application kind of thing or a little system, yeah, they're totally worth it. I mean, some energy is better than no energy, right? And if you have the time and inclination to do it, and, you know, it doesn't cost you a lot of money to go install them, then now you're paying some contractor to go and do a proper install, and it's got to be grid tie. It might not be worth to, you know, mess around with, you know, degraded panels and stuff like that, right? But, you know, yeah, just kind of evaluate your whole thing, your whole project, and sometimes it will be worth it. Amazon has 100-watt panels for $80. Yes, I have a couple of those. I will be testing those with my little solar power thing. I have some of the flexible ones, and then I have some of the glass. I'll test both of those and see which ones are better, right? Which ones will charge the thing faster or whatever. And then compare the prices, kind of thing. 3 of my panels are old VPs made in the 80s. Woo! Wait, what? So we're in the 2000s. That's what? 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010s. Almost. What? That, are they almost gonna be 40 years old? Sultry Pirate? Den? What kind of name is that? Come on. Pirate. Salty's Pirate Den? Okay, Salty's Pirate Den. Why would I pronounce that in Spanish? That would be pretty awesome if some of your panels are nearing 40 years old. That's crazy. Or 35, 30, 35? I don't know. So 1860 cells average 6 to 10 watt hours, and Jehu's setup is 7S. So 56 to 70 watt hours per individual pack. Yeah, unless you got my 13 watt hour cells over there that I bought for my Samba, that I guess I'm not gonna end up using anymore. Maybe. So I think I'm gonna put those for sale. Yeah, so if you need some like super high capacity cells, I'm gonna have about 2,000 of those cells go up pretty soon. Man, I'm gonna lose money on those because now they're worth less. I don't know. I think the ones that he put them on special, so now they're like $2.75, and I pay like $3 for them. But I think those are not as clean as these. These are like never been welded. They're like brand new, right? 0 cycles. They're not super old. They're like a year old, I think. Yeah, I think they have. Like early 2018 production dates or something. Anyways, I might be putting those up for sale, and kind of, I guess they lost some value because I haven't sit there for now close to a year because can't get projects done apparently. The dollar used to be backed by the gold. Now it's oil. I have one of the rigid polycrystalline panels, but my north-facing apartment gets 30 minutes of sunlight per day. Wait, but my north-facing apartment gets 30 minutes of sunlight per day? That's it? What? Okay, that's not enough. So new panels should be 30 to 50 cents a watt. 1980 was 40 years ago. Yeah, ain't that crazy? Yeah, it'd be interesting to test one of your panels that is nearing 40 years. Yeah, measure it. Measure the capacity of one of those panels. I mean, I want to see what they're at 40%, and then compare that to the original capacity, because that would be amazing, right? Like to check technology that it's so old. Well, it's so early versions of the solar panels, right? They were really expensive back then, or whatever. 30 plus years. BP panels from the 80s are amorphous silicon, so which I have. I think that's what I have. 37 watts. I had 32 of them installed in 1999, and they worked 20 years. Oh wow, look at that! I wonder if that's what my panels are gonna last, about 20 years, because that's exactly what I have. But of course, mine have it's like 127, 130 watts, I think, per panel, right? Oh my God, look at this guy. He wants to join the live chat. You want to join the live chat, boy? All right. What are you saying? Okay, don't slaughter me too much, okay? You're embarrassing me in front of my friends here. Boy, no, French kissing. No, come on. We don't do that. I'm not into that stuff. I got 20 280 watt panels for about 1,200. All were used, says Mike Massey. Wow, how are they working out? They're working out pretty good. 1860 prices only go down. Don't invest in it. That's true. Look at me. I've lost 25 cents in each one of these batteries. How much is that? 25 times 2,000. Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. Nah, that's not too much, right? That's like a few $100, a couple $100. I don't know. Who's the guy in the background? That's my pops. He popped in there. He doesn't care. He's like, he's at this point now, he's like 86. Wait, he was born in 1930. 88? Oh my god, my dad's old. He doesn't care. He's like, you're live? What is this? Live? I don't care. I'm coming in. I'm doing my thing. Donna Montgomery says, thank you for 10 bucks. I wanted to limit the grid tie inverter mainly to run it cooler or longer. Yeah, that you kind of have to, because if you don't, they don't last very long. I'm using a 10S 36 volt Powerwall. Would that red DC to DC converter that you use as charger work well for limiting the voltage? It would, but like around 36 volts, I think you can get much more than about 600 watts. So you're running it at peak, right? So now you're running that DC to DC at peak, and that might fail. so if you're trying to prevent something from failing, the inverter from failing, then you're gonna get this thing to fail. So the only way to do it is to actually like limit it more. So maybe you run it at like 500 watts or whatever. I think at 500 watts that thing will run. I don't know. I haven't run them extensively. I have a couple of them installed, but you know, that one the battery was heating up. I need to mechanically change that so the batteries don't heat up through the electronics airflow. So I haven't been running that every day, so I can't even log in time on those to see it if they lost. But at the same time, I have 3 of them that I burned up over here. So I don't know if those are, you know, how reliable those are. I mean, I've been doing crazy things like trying to push them to their limits. All right, hey, I'm barking. So that might be the reason why I burned those or whatever. But 500, I lost $500 just by keeping those there. Oh my god, I don't know. I might just have to use them. You didn't lose anything. I don't know. I paid more than I can sell them for now. Oh man, that sucks. That's what happens. Battery technology is highly volatile. It's like, you know, it's like buying what's that? Whatever that currency. It goes up and it goes down, but mostly goes down. Could be an income deduction. Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be a loss. Definitely, I'm gonna claim that on my taxes. You bet your butt I'm gonna do it. What's the inline volt amp watt digital meter you use in your videos? Oh, that it's discontinued, unfortunately. I can't find anyone that stocks it anymore. So yeah, it was made by man, whatever that battery manufacturer. Do I have it here? Oh yeah, I have it right here. This guy, right? You talking about this guy? Yeah, this is who makes this? Who makes this? Come on, man. Made in China. I can't remember who makes it, but yeah, I've looked for it and I can't find it. That's why I don't share it, because it's you know, I should stop using it, because yeah, that's like number 5 question most asked in my latest videos. I should just like not show it because people want to buy it. But it's so cool. It's like you can look at the numbers from far and it's small. I don't know, I like it. It's ready to go. Did you guys hear about Tesla's 1 million mile battery? Yes, I heard of that. I don't know. For some reason, I don't believe Elon when he says that his batteries have like this special chemistry or whatever. I think if you were to put like whatever battery, just some of these off the shelf batteries, if you were to put them in his modules and then run them in his cars, they would be lasting the same amount, right? I have nothing to base that, right? So I don't know why I even think that, or why I'm skeptical at the fact that he says that these cells right here, that these are not 1 million mile batteries. But the ones that he's gonna put in or whatever, these ones, right? Where are they? Where is it at? This guy. This guy is, right? Or no, he's even claiming that these are not. These are the current one that are on my Model 3, right? These are the 21 700s. But then he's saying that no, it's the next generation, the one that are coming next year. Now those are gonna be rated for 1 million miles. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I think for some reason I think that they're the same batteries. They're there already. Those will last a million miles on in their current thing. How they're currently being used. Of course, I have no basis to, I have no proof to base that on anything. But it's just a gut feeling that I have. I might be completely wrong because most of the time I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited though that they're officially saying that they have a battery that is gonna last 1 million miles. Because then all of a sudden that puts any of these naysayers, any of these skeptics, just there's just noise. I mean, there've been noise, but now it's official. they're not to be paid attention to, officially. The Cellmate 7 works pretty good, and you can get them from like $4. Will you be using pouch cells for a portable power pack for yard tools? Yeah. So check it out. Those are perfect batteries for those because they can push out a ton of power. The only problem is that they're not super dense, so it's not going to be, to give you an example, that big box that I have there, I was only able to fit, oh, you can't see it there, whatever, that giant box there. I wasn't able to fit more than 6 of these packs, right? And so that's only about 1.2 kilowatt or whatever. But on a much smaller case, like the one I have sitting here, I was able to put about 2.2 kilowatt. Of course, though, that one won't push out as much power as these. But so you it's a take and give kind of thing with batteries, right? So, batteries are the new revolution. Good on you for sharing your knowledge. I do feel like that is the case. I feel like this is a weird thing that I got obsessed with, batteries. And I think it's such an uncool thing to be obsessed about. But apparently I'm not alone. Because there's 256 of you guys watching me right now talk and blabber about batteries. Which is super weird. But super cool at the same time, right? It's a thing. It's a revolution. It's an energy revolution. We want to do things. I think most people don't understand how important energy it is to us. I think we are extremely lucky to live in a country, at least most of us, that has a very reliable grid, and most of us don't ever experience life for more than a few minutes without power, right? And only a few of us know what it is to live without power. As soon as it goes out, you're like, what are you supposed to be doing, right? I guess I was lucky. It's kind of weird to phrase it that way, but I was lucky enough to be born with that in a rural area where we didn't have power. And I gotta remember, I was a kid, so it wasn't a big deal. And everyone in the town was the same way, but you very quickly get used to the good life, to the good things, including having power and having, the internet or whatever. Most of us can't. I can't even imagine a world again without internet. I should be, because I live at this point half of my life without internet. Probably most of you guys watching here, you guys tend to be older. My audience, right? How many of you live more of your life before the internet? How many of you? Say I. Let's see if we have one. I bet you there's going to be quite a few, because I think you guys are like me, where they're older generation or whatever. It's so weird to think about today's kids that they've never known a life without the internet, right? And so I'm a prime example of that. I make a living on the internet. Like, if I don't have a connection, I can't make money. I am in trouble. You know what I mean? So power is very important to me. Like if the power goes out and I can't connect to internet, I'm dead in the water. Like I need to have power, right? And I don't know how many of you are in the same situation there. Like, but here we go. Look at that. 43, 71. Robert, it was 71. 33, 55. Wait, 33. Yeah, you're right there. You're not quite there. 56. I look at this thing. There's 37. I think. Gen X. I'm 31. There's quite a few of you guys that are kind of young, like in your 30s, I guess. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, I'm 40, Ben. It's like my age there. Actually, I think I'm 42 or 43, I remember. But I like to think of myself as a 40-year-old, but my wife's, my birth certificate disagrees with me. Ruben Salstar's 56, 52, 6 channels on TV. 63, 59, I'm 67, I'm 70. Internet freedom of information, I remember dial-up, says Nick. I remember dial-up. I mean, that was when I was 20 years old, 20-some years old. We were doing the thing. We were AOL, chat rooms and stuff. Under 30. But check it out. Look at that. We did not really have internet till I was 13, and that was dial-up. Then like 20. Yeah, so I think that's about where I'm at. We could have had internet early, but we didn't. Right? We were Mexican, living in some like really Mexicanized neighborhood, El Monte, here in Southern California. But I had a brother that was somewhat interested in technology, and he was like, "There's this company, it's Mac, and it made a comeback, and let's buy a computer." Well, first he bought a Packard Bell, yeah. And then he bought a Mac. But I mean, it was weird. We bought a $5,000 Mac back then. It was, that's the equivalent of like a $10,000 computer today, which I don't know which one of you guys would ever buy that, but I guess there's some, but not most of it. I won't. I make a living on the internet using computers. I won't spend that kind of money in a computer. But we did, and so we were lucky to kind of jump early in that thing, and that's why I like video, because very early on, when most people did not even have a computer at home, we were like, have a machine that we could edit video. And we were like, what? We want to do these things, like the Hollywood thing. So anyways, yeah, I think that's why it's a revolution. Because no matter what you're doing, some like me, because I want to edit video and I want to be connected, we all have a different reason why we want power, why we want to have electricity, why we want to have lights. So it is a revolution. One that I'm happy to be. I am an antique 73 years young, says Benny. 14.4 dial-up. Look at that. So some people still have the old Yahoo.com emails. I still talk to a few of you guys. Have you ever thought about a hybrid system using a supercapacitor bank to rapid charge and then let it charge a power wall from it, resulting on both storage sources, capacitor, like that? No, because I think the problem is, so the problem with the capacitors is that even though they can charge really quickly, the bottleneck's been on how fast you can deliver that power to the capacitor, right? Like if I had a bank of capacitors, I have like 50 kilowatt hours of supercapacitors. I couldn't charge it in a minute, right? Because that would be an immense amount of energy that it would require. I don't even know how to do the math for that. How do I do the math for that? Does any of you know that? Right? Because it's a total. So it's 50. The amount of energy that you are going to put into a battery or a supercapacitor doesn't change. It's the same amount. 50 kilowatt hours. It's 50 kilowatt hours, right? But the battery, will take it slowly. The capacitor will take it fast. But you need to have that available, right? So the only way to deliver that sort of energy, that amount of energy, in that amount of time, is by having another bank of supercapacitors that can deliver that really quickly, and you can charge another bank of supercapacitors, right? Like, I mean, you know, or a substation or something, you know, like some big thing. But you know, like most homes, just think about this. Most homes have modern homes, by the way, have a 200 amp service, right? So you do that by 240 volts. Yeah, so wow, actually that's quite a bit. So most homes can deliver 48 kilowatts per hour, right? So let's say, so yeah, you could do it in an hour, I guess. But those of you were maxing out your entire thing, right? If you had a 50 kilowatt hour battery of or a bank of supercapacitors, you would still need an hour to be able to charge it up if you're using your entire you know, what you're allowed to pull from your from your pole. Yeah, so that's the reason why supercapacitors are not that interesting to me, because we're on the storage side, right? And we're into longevity side. Like, we want our energy to last a long time. And we want to be able to get the power. I guess if we had access to like a big, you know, solar farm and you had like, you know, a few minutes to charge, but you have a limited amount of, you know, megawatt hours worth of or megawatts worth of power, then yeah, maybe a supercapacitor bank would work. I think eventually maybe they're going to be part of like electric cars, right? Because that is how you charge fast. I mean, just think about the Tesla Model 3s right now. You can charge these guys. Let's do the math. There's 8,000 of these in the car, all right? So you just divide it by 8,000, right? Let me see. Can you do that? No. 64, right? There's 64 of these guys in. Well, is that how you do it? So I can charge my Model 3, well, maybe not my Model 3, a Model 3, 200 kilowatts, right? At a rate of 200 kilowatts. Of course, this is only for a few minutes, right? Right, once it passes like 50% of state of charge, then it tapers off. But how much power is each cell seen in that, right? So if you divide 200,000 watts divided by 8,000 cells. I think that's how you would get it, right? Okay, so each cell, it's seen 25 watts. 25 watts. You divide that by 3.7, right? So 6 amps, 6.7, almost 8 amps. That's what each cell it's seen at, or it's seen at 200 kilowatts. Is that right? Yeah, that's right? Because this is a 5, so no, that can't be right. Can that be right? Because these are 5 amp hour cells, right? And 1C will be like 60 kilowatt. 2C would be a 120. 3C would be a 180. So it has to be 3. So it has to be more like 15 amps. Yeah, I think that math is wrong. It has to be about 15 amps per cell at 200 kilowatts, or you know, maybe 17 amps, something like that. Yeah, someone correct me there, because my math sucks. Remember, I'm a high school dropout, so I don't know. Okay, so I think it's the modules are 64. Oh yeah, let's do that. Maybe I'm all wrong with the things. It's got 4 modules, and there's 64 cells times 23. So that's 1,400 times 2. That's 3,000 cells, right? 2944. Okay, let's write that. 2944 plus 64 cells times 25. That's 1600 cells times 2. That's 3200 cells. Exactly 3200. So you 22 times 2944. Oh yeah, 64. Okay, so 6144 cells. That's what the long range battery has, I believe. So 200,000 watts divided by 6100. 44. What? According to this, it's 32. Oh, 32 watts. Yeah, okay, 32 watts. So you divide that by 3.7, right? 8.7. No, it still doesn't add up. Is that my math wrong? Let's see. Someone better than me come up with a thing. Tesla Model 3 long-range battery pack contains 44. I don't know if that's true. If you look at the cells. Okay. Oh, maybe. Let's double check that. Maybe I'm wrong. All my numbers that I remember are probably wrong. What's the... Where is it at? Where is my thing? Safari. Come on, Safari. Where are you, Safari? Oh, you're right in front of me here. Okay, never mind. So I have on eBay, I have a couple of modules that I'm looking at, a couple of battery packs on eBay. I thought it was 64 cells in, you're right, it's 46. See, my dyslexia. Definitely my dyslexia is getting in the way. Oh, come on, I can't find it. I think it is 46. I think you're right. Model 3 module. Where are you, module? Really? It's that hard to find? Maybe I just need to search battery, right? Model 3 battery. You guys are probably posting it all there like you guys got it. Did all the math. All the maths. 46 in parallel. You're right. See? I got it wrong. So it's more than that. Okay, so that's why. So that's the reason. 46. So what did you guys say? 4,400 cells? Is that what it is? Man, I was all off on those, huh? How was I that off? Listenex, yeah. The standard range version carries 2976 cells, arranged in groups of 31. The long range version, it's 44. Okay, 44. That's the problem. 200,000 divided by 44, 16 cells. Then that's 45 watts per cell, divided by 3.7, the voltage. Yeah, 12.2. So 12.2 amps. Right? 12.2 amps, yeah, times 3.7, 45. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so that's not that bad. I even forgot why we were trying to figure this out. But we're talking about the... oh, yeah. I was trying to see if we would really need... If the case was compelling enough to use supercaps for fast charging batteries, right? Because think about this. So 12, right? Divided by 3.7 volts. Oh, now it says 15. Which that's what I thought. It was 15. 15 amps. These cells can take 15 amps for about 20 minutes. And I think they get hot. In fact, I can do the test. In fact, I am going to do the test. So, let's talk about cooling and batteries, okay? This is a good segue here.
A lot of people are asking me about my battery modules for my Samba and if I'm going to cool them, right? And usually my answer has been no. Like, we haven't needed cooling because we always have a big battery. Like in my case, 50 kilowatt hour battery, and my system's only capable of 80 kilowatt, right? But at peak. In actuality, it's only about 22 kilowatt, sustained, continuous. So I'm about half a C all the time going down the road, right? So I'm like, my batteries are not even getting hot. My batteries are just like, oh, there's a load in there. I think there's a load, but they're not stressing. They're never stressing for more than a few seconds, even for a few seconds. Like, it's maybe they're seeing about 50 kilowatt, right? Like 1C. At 1C, they don't stress out. So there's never been the need for us to even do the lines, even though sometimes we're using, like Tesla modules. We just don't bother to run the liquid cooling on it because we don't need to. But if we're ever going to charge fast charge, DC fast charge on Shademo, or, who knows, maybe one day even Tesla network, right? And a supercharger. Then all of a sudden, now I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I should look into having some cooling in my battery module since I'm designing them from the ground up. So I think the best way to know where the thermal limits of my cells are going to be is to take, a cell, like a thing. Like, this is the cell that I'm going to use. Okay, let's charge it up, right, at 1C and see how much heat it creates, right? And I want to put it, like replicate, put it together in a group of cells and then put it inside a module that's going to be encased in the thing or whatever with no airflow, and so that way I'll put like a little thermistor there, and then I just charge at different, at different levels and see where the temperature starts getting bad, right? Or where the temperature levels are at. And then I could extrapolate from that, right? Like, so I'm going to have 8,000 cells in my bus, right? And so let's say that I can do, this is a 3 amp hour cell. Let's say that I can, at 2C, that's where my temperature limit is at, right? They're getting around 60 C temperature, in 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to go above that because then there's too much damage on cells. Okay, so I can do 6 amps per cell, right? So, very quickly I can see how much my bus can take, right? 6 amps times 3.7 volts. So that's 22 watts per cell, and then I multiply that by 8,000. And I'm around 177 kilowatts. So I'm like, do I even bother putting, if I mean, that's a theoretical because I don't know what the temperatures are, right? But if at 2C, the temperatures are not alarming, for example, right? And if I have a 100 kilowatt hour battery on my bus, that means I will be able to see the same 200 kilowatt at a supercharger and without my batteries going too hot, right? So then maybe I don't even bother and put a cooling loop through them, right? Maybe I'll just stuff more battery in there because then a bigger battery will be less hot with the same amount of current going in there, right? Now, I know, I don't know how fast. I know, with Teslas, there's no messing around. They're now at 200 kilowatt charging, right? Shademo, I think it's like 350 or something. That's the new standard. And I know I've seen videos where people are doing, 150, 100, I think somewhere around the 150 mark on existing cars already. Like in Europe, they're doing that. And maybe even here in the States. So how fast, how many years, how much time before we start actually seeing, charging speeds of like 300 kilowatt, or 300 kilowatt speeds? I don't know. Maybe that's around the corner. And so maybe I do need to, look into that, right? And now, of course, the other thing is at 200 kilowatt charging speeds, you're talking about 40 minutes full charge, which would be like more than 300 miles on my bus.
It's nice, but it's not 100% necessary, right? Like I could, like it's totally fine. Like I know people are like, you need to charge quicker, you need to charge quicker, and it's like, yeah, you it would be nice, but even right now, like 10, 15, 20 minutes at the supercharger, it's not that bad. It's like totally doable. It's totally workable, right? It's not a drag. It's not like I know I'm like an early adopter of this technology, so I'm forgiveful, right? I would forgive like the shortcomings or whatever. But I think for most people, yeah, 15, 20 minutes is not a big deal, right? Because then you don't have to go to the gas pump all the time, right? Because you're only doing that some of the time. Most of the time you're charging at home, which takes a few minutes to plug it in. So yeah, I still, when I start thinking about that, I don't know if it's compelling. Like supercapacitors for a car, I don't know. Maybe they're not going to be compelling. Maybe batteries are going to be good enough to like not need those, right? And so as a result of that, supercaps are going to suffer, and they're not going to have a lot of development because they're not needed as bad. But who knows? You know what I mean? Like I'm just seeing from our experiences that we're seeing now with current technology. Yeah, I don't see it, man. So anyways, I want to do a video about that, like doing those experiments with those batteries and seeing where the thing is at. 150 kilowatt for CCS with up to 350 kilowatt, but only for 800 volts. Oh, I see. So even that, it's limited. So the amperage is probably limited. If you have 400 volts, then you're seeing what? You're seeing half of that. You're only seeing 350 kilowatt. Yeah, see? So Chadimo's 50 kilowatts still in the US, and that's, yeah, that's reliable. I've seen that a couple times in a few cars and stuff. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not going with 800 volt battery anytime soon. That's another level. That's up there. Like that's yeah, that's scary stuff. That's scary. I'm scared of that. Like, you know, I'm good with my 111 volt nominal. Yeah, I'll go to 333 volts, but that is scary. I mean, that's a lot of volts. That's quite a bit of power, DC power, you know, and you gotta just show way more respect when it comes to yeah, 333 volts, almost 400 volts fully charged. That's scary. I don't know how many of you guys have worked on past 200 volt like DC voltages. I get scared, you know. I tend to do a lot of things like, you know, double check my thing, tape the ends of cables and stuff, even though they're gonna be over there, you know. Disconnect the thing over here, you know. I'm taking all the precautions when it comes to working on my high voltage pack on my bus. You know, now luckily I mean, I've felt, I don't know, I felt about 100 volts, you know, DC on my arm before, and the problem is it doesn't hurt as much, and so, you know, it won't push you away. Like your body doesn't pull us fast, I feel. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of hard. I don't know. Remember Tesla have brake pads. If I could regen and truly brake, imagine the power save. They use them for regen brake and storage on buses. Yeah, so they have some uses, definitely. Although I could claim that the same thing can be done with batteries, because batteries will take the power. Batteries will take the energy you shove into them. They just, you know, you'll degrade them faster. And I don't only when they're up there, like past 50% state of charge. If they're below that, you can just cram 200 kilowatts. You can cram 15 amps into this 5 amp hour cell, right? So that's a 3C charging on this battery right here. On this, you know, it's not that bad. Spatially, supercapacitors have about 128 the storage density of lithium-ion cells. I don't see them being popular storage medium for electric vehicles. Yeah, that's the other problem. And not only that, not only the size, but right now is the cost, right? Because they're not because their advancement is much slower. No one's putting them on a billion phones, right? Like lithium ion is, right? I mean, lithium ion is the king because there are so many of them. They're literally every year we're producing billions and billions of these batteries, and there are a ton of companies that are, you know, on the race to make them better, to make them, you know, more dense, you know, more energy dense, more power dense, you know. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to compete with that. It's already a thing that is mass produced, and there's a lot of money, there's a lot of development, there's a lot of stuff. What is it doing to your cells at 3 kilowatt? I don't know. Chevy citation. Okay, let's see here. How long have we been doing? Oh my God, we've been this is 2 hours. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it quits here. I spent 10 days. Okay, let's see. Timothy Bird, I spent 10 days on Abaco in the Bahamas. They were leveled. Oh my God. I saw the last video, but was wondering if we could expand on coming up with solar turbine and battery generators that could power the refrigerator. Yes, so that's coming up. That is part of this one video and the series of video that I'm working on. This is the little one, right? And I'm trying to get this one like easiest and the cheapest, right? That you can make it so that, you know, I know people, you know, when, you know, in emergency situations, they're not going to have a lot of money to spend, a lot of time or a lot of place. But I think what I want to do is also, you know, make the video for people that can build them, that have the means to order the parts and build them and stuff. Do that, but also like do a thing where like maybe we'll get together and all throw pitch in and like build a few systems and then, you know, send them, you know, for people that don't have the means to order the parts and make them themselves and stuff. So there's a bunch of levels. There's a bunch of different ways that we can help and, you know, get some of these systems into the island. We did it before with the Puerto Rico thing, and it worked out good, you know. I mean, for being just a small little initiative, you know, we raised quite a bit of money and we did quite a bit of systems. We helped about 50 families or something like that. I think short of 50 families or whatever. So hopefully we can do better this time around. We know a little bit more. And then of course we'll have this system is the basic one, then the bigger one, and then the biggest one, which will be, you know, like a good system that can power tools, you know, for people that need to like either run a little workshop or they need to cut trees down with the, you know, with electric chainsaws or whatever it is that they need, right? Power winches to, you know, bring cars out of, you know, ponds or whatever. I don't know. There's a ton of stuff that all this stuff can be used for, right? So that is in the works, right? That is in the works. And of course, I would love to, yeah, somehow be involved in probably some expedition to go down there once things are a little bit more stable, right? Like I you know, I think, you know, it's my expertise, if you can call it that. It's very useful in a thing, but you know, when there's no shelter and food and water, you know, I'm kind of useless, you know. I'm like, oh, here's a little power, you know, for someone that hasn't eaten for a couple days. It's not at the top of the priorities, but it is up there, right? And I think maybe once it's once it's kind of stable and stuff, then we can kind of make our move there and either somehow figure someone in the island that we can make a contact, and you know, some of the, yeah. We'll do it. I mean, we've done it again once already, so we'll do it again. And this time, I think we might be able to do it better because, again, I have a contact. I'm surprised that he's not here, but he usually joined us at the U.S. Air Force, and they're building, you know, battery packs using these, and they have deployments right now. They're in the Bahamas, and so, you know, maybe there's a chance that I can be embedded in one of those missions and stuff, and I can, you know, get myself to the island to see and how we can help, and you know, whatever, make content, raise awareness, do whatever we need to do to help and stuff. So anyways, I want to thank you guys. Oh, by the way, I know you guys, not all of you guys have
Instagram, but I made a post on Instagram, an update for all of you guys that donated for my little mission down in Mexico to save rescued dogs from the streets, right? Yeah, it was 100% success. If you have Instagram, do follow me. Oh, let me see. Can I post? I think I can post a link here. I'll post a link here. Yeah. I don't think you have to have Instagram to see this. It's not that link. How do I get that link? Oh, can I just go to the thing? Yeah, I think I could just go to my Instagram. Let's see. Instagram. And I was trying to get it onto. What? Come on, really? Oh, someone else owns Jehu. So I'm Jehu Garcia. No, I'm not Jehu Garcia. I'm Jack35 on Instagram. Bam. Let's see. Is there? There we go. Okay. So, okay, you guys can see it right there. I don't have to do more than that. Anyways, this is just a little update. I'm showing you what all the money that you guys donated went to. We definitely fed about 50 dogs down there this month, and we bought a lot of medicines, and the little dogs with all the ticks on their ears, now there's videos of them jumping around. Now they're healthy and stuff. You know, and I also have images of the next challenges where, like, we have a dog with a broken leg, and we're trying to find, a surgeon to do the thing. Now that dog's been in surgery twice because they don't have the things to, because it's a fracture where the bones were like in pieces and stuff, and they didn't have the right thing, so they tried something, like a thing to use but it didn't work. And so the next day they had to open him up again, which I don't know. I'm hoping this dog is gonna make it, but we couldn't leave him that way. He would have to be put down if we couldn't fix him, right? And so, yeah, he's still not out of the water and whatever. So anyways, if you donated to that thing a month ago, here's a little update of what your money was used for, and here are the dogs. And I'll have more updates on that later, because we're always helping as many dogs as we can by neutering them and doing spade and getting them off the streets, right, and trying to find homes for them and stuff. All right, thank you for all of you guys, all your support. Thank you for all the likes and all the donations. Truly appreciate it for all your guys' support. Stay tuned for all those videos coming up. I do have, I think, a wave of videos coming up that I've been working on. And do share. Join our Facebook group and share your projects, because we need, we need to be inspired by all of you guys' work. There's a lot of you guys that are smart, and they are doing a lot of cool things. I'm inspired by a lot of the projects that I'm seeing. You guys are some amazing power walls. I'm over here still messing around with the little boards, and then you guys are building these power walls with them and stuff, and damn. So anyways, post it so that we can all be inspired by all that stuff and keep going their projects and stay busy. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video. See you guys on the next one. Bye. What are you guys doing over there? Okay, today's vlog is going to be educational, and it's gonna be fun for all the BW fans. All right, as you guys know, I drive the Samba everywhere, and I use these windows. They're called Safari windows. Today I'm gonna help Danny install her windows on her bus. First things first, we gotta remove those. Okay, so here are she wants to be cool like me, so obviously she. Oh, look at all that rust just in that time. Okay, so this is what you have to do to prepare their surface, the rust surface area. POR 15, POR 15, and this is what to paint over rust. And to prepare the surface, of course, you have to use some chemicals in there. We got the first coat right here.
As you guys know, classic cars have really bad brakes. Usually it's because it's old technology, right? It's drum brakes from the 50s, especially like this one right here, right? And so they just don't cut it for modern times. And so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna change that and put disc brakes. All right, here's what we're replacing them. We're replacing them with two custom-made front hubs milled out of a billet aluminum, right? One big chunk of aluminum by Wagons West out in Oregon. Alrighty. It's like a little mini rim inside. Let me tell you, it's night and day from the original drum brakes that this thing has. So you want to build a DIY Powerwall. I'll show you how to do one. Using these as batteries and these as your inverter, you can build a small DIY Powerwall. Let's get going.
Have you guys gone around the building or anything?
Yeah, I just took it down here.
Dude! Let's go to King of the Hammers!
You want to see what 10 kilowatts looks like on a meter? let's talk about the EV West M3.
I'm Michael Bream with EV West, and 7 years ago we started our little electric car speed shop so we could help people make classic cars go faster. At the time we were looking around for venues, and there wasn't a lot available to electric cars, and we came across Pikes Peak, and they actually had a class. And we ended up building the car, purpose-built for Pikes Peak. We ran the race in 2012. We ended up setting a record for the fastest street-legal electric car to go up the hill.
Now, the car that Michael is talking about is the famous M3.
342 horsepower and 850.4 pound-feet of torque.
A few years later, I saw it. So this year we decided to up our game a little bit. We had our friend Joe Rubenstein come out with his cinema camera, right? This is an Alexa. Even though it's big and bulky, we thought it was worth to get the extra quality. Here's a couple of shots that he got with that camera.
You have those little pucks? So then after you take off all the screws,
We got the fun part.
you got the
Grab
fun
the
part,
chisel.
and you gotta pry it out. Oh, there. A moment of truth.
All right, Saturday. Different crew takes over the shop here in the weekends. They're gonna be working on that Ferrari thing there, so. So the triples are going out. The triplets.
Triplets are going to come out and be part of the world again.
You send them free?
Free the bird. Free bird.
Oh jeez, that's tight.
Wow, look at that. Look at that contactor box. Thursday morning. Today is the day that we power up this guy for the first time.
That is so smooth. They come in on gas, leave on electrons.
Alright guys, let's make another video. Let's answer some of your questions. Keith Tucci, if charging 16 cells at once, do you need to put... Here's an interesting question. You're asking if all the cells have to be at the same voltage for you to be able to charge them together. Let's test that today. Negative to negative, positive to positive, 1.4. Look at that, it's 2.2. Alright, so after 2 hours, the only question left to answer is how much charge did it get? And so I'm gonna test that right now. It's raining again in California. Did that just miss the truck?
By about this much.
Yep, that just came down. So here is the 12-volt lithium challenge. 12 volts are generally automotive lead-acid batteries. They have been around forever, and they are achieved by using 6 2-volt cells inside of a box with 2 big terminals. They are cheap, they are heavy, and they don't last very long in energy storage applications. Now lithium, on the other hand, they are expensive, but they are light, small, and they last a very long time. The problem is that the most common type of lithium has an operating cell voltage of 3.7 volts, and using 3 or 4 cells doesn't quite match the 12-volt standard. So no matter how many you use, you end up wasting about 30% of the capacity to mismatch voltage. But there is one type of lithium chemistry that operates at a 3.3 volt nominal. And putting 4 cells in series makes a 12 volt that is compatible with 99% of all the equipment out there designed for lead acid batteries. Today I'm going to show you how to build this electric skateboard. As you know, electric skateboards are a thing now. They've been a thing for a while. There's the expensive ones, there's the cheap ones, and everything in between. But there's a new breed of electric skateboards. They're off-road. And you got a glimpse of one of them last time I was in New York. And I got to meet Vitaly, which runs the Portable Electric Vehicles channel on YouTube. He built himself this beast of an electric skateboard that supposedly does about 55 miles per hour, which is just insane. So I thought I would show you how I would build one on the cheap, using off-the-shelf parts to keep the build simple. So let's get started. Do not connect these backwards, and whatever you do, do not short these cells. Each one on a dead short can do about 300 amps times 8. That equals a very bad time. Unless you're looking to melt stuff, then it would be a really good time with fireworks and all. But you probably don't want that, so do not short these. All right, carry on with the build. Here I'm using some Kapton tape between the 4 separate groups of cells to further prevent a short between them. The only thing here preventing said short is one thin layer of cell wrapper. So anything you can do is very helpful. And there we go. There's our battery pack right there. So you need to go negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive.